with the Arc Tarot, and I am, gosh, what I am I? I'm honored, I'm thrilled, I'm ecstatic, I'm like over the moon to have Penelope Smith with me today. She has so graciously agreed to be one of your 6 classes for the Arc Tarot, where you are learning to work with the spirit, totem, and power animal energies, open up your third eye, work with those energies and their medicine for healing. And for those of you who don't know Penelope, she is the, oh my gosh, the grand dame, the great grandmother of animal communication all over the world, and certainly started here in the States. She was such a pioneer and still is such a pioneer. She paved the way for public understanding and acceptance and awareness of telepathic communication with animals. And if she's largely responsible for the industries, so to speak, that we have today, where we all have clients in the animal communication field, and that people do seek out our services to help them, and they're believers and they're accepting of it. So gosh, Penelope, I'm going to get real. See, I'm like, oh my God, I got Penelope Smith. I'm just so grateful, and I'm so maybe get very emotional because, as you know, um, and I thank you so much for your friendship. You and I have been friends for a little bit, and you know what my passion is, to help the animals. It's the only reason that I do what I do. And I know that's the only reason you ever started doing what you do. And, you know, with your books, you've got Animals in Spirit, Animal Speak, Animal Talk. What are some of the other books that you have out? And you've got.
Those are my 3 main books, and then lots of audio and video.
Right. And they are such I see them as like learning math, right? You've got to have these foundational fundamentals to be able to move to next levels, and you take everybody through all of those levels. You take the very beginner who's like, oh my God, am I crazy because I think animals are talking to me, or because I want to talk to animals. You get people through that all the way through really kind of upper levels, if you could say that, upper levels of consciousness, to be able to do this work on a much larger level. So if you guys don't have Penelope's books or her CDs, you can go to animaltalk.net. That's animaltalk.net. Treat yourself, do yourself the big favor of getting her materials. They are staples in my library. And even though I've been doing this for 1,000 years, when I'm feeling stuck or I'm feeling confused, I walk right to my bookcase and I pull Penelope's books. So today for the Arc Tarot folks, we are going to be getting your great wisdom. And I love, you were so gracious. Thank you. I asked you what the 3 things are that you most wish. Sorry, that's my dog snoring, you guys. Sorry. It's not me making strange sounds. It's my dog snoring, if you can hear that in the background. But you came up with these really great questions that you have the answers to that will help people in their journey through learning animal communication. And the one, which I have a lot of students ask me too, they're like, okay, listen, if I'm talking to animals or I'm connecting with them, what does that look like? What does it feel like? And then you just took it that step further. And so the question is, what does real natural telepathic communication with animals look and feel like? And so can you talk about that a little bit for everybody who thinks they're crazy when they're getting visions or hearing things that they don't understand why they're hearing?
Sure. So telepathic animal communication, it's first of all a natural ability. We are born with the ability to receive other beings' thoughts and feelings. It's a part of our natural senses. I call the telepathic senses our extended senses. It's like we can see, hear, touch, taste, smell. Telepathically means it's internal and extended. It's sort of like a finer tuned. Telepathy means connecting through feeling at a distance. So we are connecting across the way to another being, feeling what they feel, getting their thoughts. So How does it feel? Well, when you accept it as a natural thing, you will get your senses according to what you are most attuned to. So some people are more attuned visually. So they will get mental pictures. So they'll get from their dog an image of what, say they ask their dog or they wonder to the dog, gee, what did you do all day while I was gone at work? And suddenly they get images of the dog rushing to the window and barking at the delivery person. And then they get another picture of the dog running to the other window and looking at the squirrels. And these are mental images. This is telepathic sensing through visual. And other people will get audio. They sort of hear their dog. They'll get the dog talking. Now, people say, well, how can I get a voice when the dog doesn't have a voice like that? Well, it's a telepathic translation. So you will get your dog communicating in a voice that is really a translation of a sense. It's a sense channel. So you'll hear your dog, and it will sort of be characteristic of them. You'll hear your dog saying, "Well, I had a pretty sleepy day today. It was hot, and my stomach was a little bit funny after that. I ate a little bit too much for breakfast. I always convince you to give me an extra treat, and you did, and it was a bit much. And you'll hear this voice talking to you, and it will be not you. It'll be different than your own voice. It will be different than your own thinking. This is not an experience that happened to you. This happened to your dog. So you'll be getting this. Or other people will get it kinesthetically. They'll get it by feeling in the body. So they'll get a sense of the stomach being a little bit bloated. And when they stay tuned, they'll get again, they may not know how to interpret that if they don't get the other senses. See, when you start getting telepathic communication, you may get only one channel, but as you get more experienced and open to your own sensing, you'll get a sense of knowing what the whole thing is about. So you'll get the dog's smell, you'll get their thoughts, you'll get their feelings, you'll get their voice or their thoughts translated into words. And you'll get the whole thing, and you'll start to or you may question. You get, well, I get a kind of a stomach kind of a feeling of being too full, and your dog says, yeah, you fed me too many treats because I convinced you to do that. And and the dog admits that they can't resist more and more food. So you'll start to get more of that, but in the beginning, people when they first start to open, they get snippets, and then they usually shut off. They go, "Oh, I got something," and the thing as you learn, you start to stay open to let it unfold, to let the sense unfold. While telepathy is instantaneous, as soon as you think it, the animal is already answering you back. It may take a while as a beginner for you to allow it to come in and to feel it fully. So you have a little lag there. And in that lag, if you just stay open like this, open your arms, open your chest, lean back, relax, you'll start to feel what your dog feels. And the most direct method of telepathic communication is actually to be your dog, to become your dog. So you feel what they feel. You start to um, you start to feel you have paws, and you start to feel you have a long nose, and you smell what your dog smells, you hear what they hear. It's different than your human senses because the dog senses are very different than human senses. And you have different concerns. You're not concerned about being on the computer and answering your messages. You're concerned about guarding the house and taking care of your person, and what's next, what is your person going to do next. These are different concerns. So as you listen, you start to feel it's different than what you think and feel. That's a sign of truth. That's a sign you're getting a true telepathic communication. And then the litmus test is when you get these things and you understand your dog is happier. They're real happy to connect. They sit there looking at you going, right on. They like to encourage you because they love to be understood. Animals
Sure.
love to be understood, and difficulties with them melt away as you understand them. As you get what the animal's viewpoint is. See, people project a lot their own thoughts. So they see the dog and they say, well, he probably thinks, or, and they're projecting their own thoughts. Get away from your own thinking by, again, opening, grounding yourself with the earth. Actually, feel your feet on the ground. Even if you're in a building, doesn't matter. As soon as you feel your feet connected to the building is connected to the ground. You go right down to the earth. And through your feet on the ground, you connect with the animals. And then it's a whole different thing than twirling around in your own thoughts. You're not regurgitating what you already think about the animal. Nothing will change if you're just regurgitating. The dog will look at you and go, great, okay, you're now in your own thoughts again. Okay. But when you understand, animals are very attentive. They come and they look at you. They if you're having a problem with, say, your cat going outside the litter box, when you actually get what's going on with them, when you understand, oh, they tell you, they show you that there's another cat coming outside while you're gone, and they're patrolling around the house, and the cat's feeling anxious, he's starting to go elsewhere. Okay, once you understand that, the cat feels very relieved. You say, oh, I got it, I see there's another cat patrolling, and you understand, and the cat's anxiety is lowered, and they go, oh, what a relief. I mean, I think of how many thousands of times animals had said to me, oh, at last a person who understands, at last an intelligent person, who opens, who understands, who gets my viewpoint. Some animals get very frustrated and they get
Sure.
sort of an attitude, oh, well, here's a person again, and they're